Good evening, my fellow children of the night, and welcome to my campfire. Tonight I have an original piece of fiction from another child of the night, Juan Diaz. Links in the description. I highly suggest you go and check him out after the video. Tonight's story is called The Woods Have Eyes. The foursome had found an abandoned campsite. Alicia Mitchell noticed that there was only 2 tents. Ricky Williams and Susan Ramsey were an item, so of course they'll be in one. That left the other tent to Peter Fox and her. He had recently joined the group. Susan kept trying to get them together, and Pete was cute, and she loved his sense of humor already. That was important to her. If he would have pouted after the blowjob joke, she would have turned off, cute or not. But he took it in stride, so yeah, she could see herself sharing a tent with him. No sex, but fooling around wasn't out of the question. The girls got some firewood. It was still early, but it soon got dark and cold. Whoever left had left in a hurry. They even left behind some beers. Alicia took her shirt off in jeans, exposing a lacy pink bra and panty set. Pete, wanna go skinny dipping? Pete shouted.
If it's anything like your blowjob, I can't wait.
They all laughed as they headed to the nearby lake. They had chosen a good location. The lake was only a few yards from the campsite. There was no skinny dipping, much to Pete's chagrin. He'd seen one too many sex comedies. Everybody went swimming in their underwear. The girls in bras and panties, the boys in boxers. They splashed around for about 45 minutes, then made their way back to the campsite. Pete and Alicia were dried, dressed, and sitting near the just-started campfire. Susan and Ricky were finishing drying themselves, when an old man stumbled into their campsite. He was bleeding. Ricky and Pete managed to grab the old man before he collapsed to the ground.
"Sue, water!"
said Ricky, as Peter helped the old man sit down. Susan brought a bottle of water and handed it to Ricky. He helped the old man sip it slowly. He was shivering. Alicia grabbed a blanket and draped it over the old man.
"What happened to you?"
Ricky asked. The old man gulped the water.
We have to get out of here. They're coming.
Pete looked around the surrounding area, but couldn't see anything or anyone.
"What's your name?" "Herbert. It's Herbert Wells."
He drank some more water, but had slowed down.
"Okay, Herbert. Who's out there? Who did this?"
asked Ricky. Herbert coughed harshly.
It was a human."
The group heard a crack. Then Herbert's head exploded in a bloody mess of brain matter and skull fragments. Alicia screamed as a bullet hit her in the back of her head, destroying half her face in the process. She turned to Pete, tried to speak, but only made gargling sounds as her ruined tongue lobbed from left to right. She collapsed to the ground. Pete ran to Alicia, oblivious to the bullets whizzing over his head. Ricky grabbed Susan's hand. They ran deeper into the woods. 3 bullets slammed into Ricky's chest, but he kept running, pulling Susan behind him. She screamed as an arrow struck the back of her skull. Ricky turned as she fell to the ground.
"You motherfuckers!"
That was the last thing Ricky said. Peter, holding Alicia's hand, quietly sobbed. He looked up, and a man was standing in front of them. He wore camouflage clothing and boots. Pete let go of Alicia's hand, stood up, and faced the stranger.
Get it over with.
The stranger swung his machete, nearly decapitating Peter. His head swiveled clumsily to one side. Blood shot out in a geyser. The stranger swung again, and Peter's head came off completely. It rolled onto the ground. The stranger wiped the blood from his machete.
Damn zombies.